Welcome to the Brutal Game. As always, I'm Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And on tonight's episode of the Brutal Game, we get straight into it with our infamous 2-minute drill ×2 as we recap and talk through all the big matches and storylines from this past week and weekend that was the Premier League, the Champions League, Europa League, and Europa Conference League. Then we're going to blow the old halftime whistle as the Stella of the Cucurella and the Palmer Cold from the penalty spot, Ron, shares with us all the news that's fit to drink, and yet another edition of Ron's Beer News. And for the second half of the pod, it's once again the La Liga's Roundup. But this time we stay stateside as we give you our predictions and a light preview of the currently in progress MLS. And starting tomorrow, the NWSL. Wait, what's that from? MLS.
What? G.I. Joe?
G.I. Joe. I don't know. I did it and it rang a bell in my head. And I can't figure out what it was. But first, our beer, or not our beer, as we roll over to our good old Irishman, Ferris.
Hello. I don't know what that was. Yeah, I don't have beer. I don't know. I'm like trying to fight off a little bit of a cold here, so I thought, you know what? Let's not put an IPA, a stout, anything like that, and instead, I'm gonna make for you a broke ass version of a hot toddy.
How does the Ferris make a broke ass version of a hot toddy?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Blake. I'll tell you. I have 2 things of some Twinings Earl Grey tea in my AFC Richmond Ted Lasso mug.
Excellent.
That's like, I don't know, 6 parts tea. I don't know. I'm making stuff up at this point. Taking it from my decanter here. A little bit of John Jameson's, could be stout edition, could be whatever edition. I just know it's something that's very alcoholic.
I just love you got it
made by Jameson
in that decanter, like you're James Bond, like pulling it out of like the globe or whatever that opens into the liquor cabinet.
So we're gonna have a nice healthy pour of that in there. There we go. Top some off. Then we're gonna take, I think I got it in my stocking for my mom. I don't really know, so I should be proud that I'm using it in a hot toddy. But my sweetest honey and this nice little, look how cute that little bear is.
Nice.
That's pretty adorable.
And I don't know, we're just going to pour a little bit of that in there. Yeah, sure, that'll work. I don't have any, what do you usually put in this? Like lemon?
Lemon, sometimes a clove.
Yeah, no, we're just going straight with these 3 things.
Sometimes that's all you need.
A little stir up. And I'll tell you how it tastes here in a second.
Well, over on my end, if you don't mind if I go next, Ron.
Hit it.
I've got from Belafonte, PA, or Belafont, PA. I've never been there, so I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. But from Axeman Brewery, thought I would go very local this go round. Axeman Brewery is a Happy Valley craft brewery owned, managed, and staffed by all Penn State alumni. Owned by Penn State student athlete, Axeman Brewery officially opened for business in Happy Valley in 2020. But the vision began 30 years ago when Rod Stahl, former Penn State student athlete, was introduced to home brewing, and a dream became of being a brewery was born. Their Ugly Ale Pale Ale is one of their famous, and it's great. Like their colors, the Axeman logos, it's all Penn State, like blue and white. And I am doing their Black Raz. It's a black raspberry wheat ale. Black Raz wheat ale brings the refreshing taste of blackberries and raspberries in a slightly tart ale with a full body and a silky smooth feel. Not too sweet and totally refreshing. 5% ABV. And the original version, it says, was brewed. I like they have a backstory for each of their beers. They're not long, but I like that they do that. It says the original version of this brew really did use hand-picked black raspberries from the Stahl farm. The current taproom recipe uses a puree in order to ensure that we meet all FDA and LCB guidelines.
Nice.
Yes. So this is my first one from this brewery. I was unfamiliar with it, but it opened in 2020, so it was open after I had ever lived here prior.
Sounds yummy.
What you got, Mr. Keller?
So, in the past, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks, I've been world traveling as usual. I went to Canada for some vacation. My son got to play in snow for the first time, and it was just about 2.5 meters of snow, which is crazy. So that's about 4.5 feet for all you people that need freedom units.
Yes.
And I also was in Singapore, so that was pretty crazy. So I had a couple of beers to choose from, and on this one, I just figured I'm going to go with something modern. And that would be my favorite Canadian brewery, Flying Monkeys, which we also brought Max to.
Oh, yeah. I saw the
That's
picture
awesome.
from there.
Yeah, super cute.
So I went with a really slick beer that I had on draft when I was there called Worlds Away Modern Lager. And on the flyingmonkeys.ca website, you can go check out their Monty Python Flying Circus-esque website. And in it, it's got, they make so many beers, it's crazy. But when you find Worlds Away, it says on their website, dreaming of a vivid world where everything works in harmony? Find peace in the Worlds Away Modern Lager and high-five the friendship bubble of Canadian 2-row and 6-row malts teamed with the snappy duo of Saaz and Hallertau hops.
That was so friendly and
It's
Canadian.
lovely, yeah.
It's 4.7 on the old ABVs, and you can get it down here in the south of America in Total Wine. F1.
Can you really?
Yep.
What's the tariff on that? I'm thinking.
You're previewing ahead to the news.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, if Ferris, buy up all the Jameson you can. That's probably going to get tagged next.
Yeah, right.
It's coming. So yeah, I'm gonna crack this bad boy.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Salute.
No
Open it for
tapping from Ferris, I guess.
Nope.
no, just
But to world peace, tariffs, and booze.
I thought you said world peace, tariffs, and booze.
Yeah, I did. It didn't make any sense, but we can go with it. Ooh, Blake's is
Ooh.
coming in hot.
Yeah, well, sorry, guys. Hope that was an oral pleasure for you.
If I had a nickel on this podcast.
Sorry, I was supposed to say an oral pleasure, but I had to slap my mouth around this can as she was foaming out.
I think what you meant was audible.
I was trying to say oral, and I said oral instead of oral because I was trying to be funny, but instead just said the thing. So instead of an innuendo, I did an up your butto. That's what I did.
Wow, this pod is way different.
Yes, it is.
Ooh,
Oh.
Nally.
Oh, this smells like some delicious black raspberries. Hopefully, it tastes better than the foam I tried to inhale.
Yeah, check out the always entertaining can art on the old Flying Monkeys here.
Berry flying.
Oh man, they always have such cool stuff.
Monkeys-esque.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool.
Also, I'll put a picture up for you. I forgot to send it when I was at Flying Monkeys. But next Ferris and I put a Brutiful Games sticker in Flying Monkeys.
Yeah, that's right. We did, didn't we?
Right in an easily viewable spot.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
There was it's like a giant sticker wall. And so we slapped one on there. And there's a big black circle around our logo with an arrow pointing to it. And the other end of the arrow says, "Listen to this. It's hilarious."
Really?
And I didn't.
And that was not done by you, Becky, or
Oh.
anybody in the Dean family.
Right.
That's awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I'll send a picture of it. It's pretty hit.
I don't know what the hell they were actually listening to, but
I know. Maybe it was like the Burpapalooza podcast.
yeah, right. And they were like, "Oh crap, we got that confused."
These guys.
Beautiful game.
Oh man.
This guy can't even make a proper hot toddy.
That's flipping awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty great.
I had a nice you know, when you're like out in the wild and you don't just catch like your tribe as like, oh, hey, there's a dude wearing like a, you know, like a Man United like modern kid or shirt. So it's like someone at the bar who you're like, that's from like 28 years ago. Well, there was a dude at this bar in Philly. I went out to this Irish pub, and at the end of the bar, he had a like the old Vodafone, like or whatever it was,
Yeah.
Arsenal kit. And I was like, nice, man. You're just like, yeah, cool.
That's
like,
a man that knows what's up.
yeah, you know, it's made me
and-
super. Yeah. And I'm like looking around, anybody else? He's like, yeah, there's some folks around here that watch. I was like, I'm like, I'd have been happy with the classic Everton jersey, anything in there. That's awesome.
Speaking of jerseys, I recently did a count of my jersey. When's the last time you guys have done a count of your jersey collection?
Enough. I just did one
Did you?
3 weeks ago.
So, all right. So, what was your count?
Moving winter clothes out and getting everything ready. My jersey count for all teams, not just MLS or Chelsea, is 26.
Nice.
I am going to have to guesstimate a little bit, but I just did the same thing because I just unpacked the box full that had all my kits and everything in there. Because I ended up wearing a Bayern Munich kit to work yesterday. I think all in told, I'm sitting around like 14, 15, but I do have a brand new one coming my way from Orlando with the custom number 10 and Marta across the back that I'm very excited about. Did you get that too, Ferris?
I'm literally wearing one of two kits that we got with our season tickets because I have 2 seats. I get 2 kits, so I put the number 10 on the back of the one. But gentlemen, I do have a problem.
Wait, hold on, wait.
Yes.
We
Go
need
ahead.
to guess. We absolutely
ahead.
need to guess. I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
say 49.
Oh, I'm gonna say 37.
You guys are way off.
More?
65 kits. Just soccer kits, by the way. Yeah, I got a problem. The leader in the clubhouse is Man United, obviously. But could you guys guess the next 2 after that?
Fulham, Borussia Dortmund.
False and false.
Whoa, wow.
Orlando Pride probably comes up second.
Okay.
I don't have exact number. That's why I'm saying probably, but I know it comes up second. Orlando City and Dortmund are probably close, but I think Orlando City edges it by like maybe 1. Then Dortmund 4th.
Wow.
Yep. I got randos in there. I got an Ajax kit. I got a Inter Milan kit.
Well, I yesterday I was like
Some of
2 days ago. I just was like, wait a minute. The season just started. I have to get. I was looking at the games like I'm getting this right now. I was like, how much is it to get Marta's name on the back? And yeah, I'll take that, please. That's what I need for this. Yeah,
That's what I got on right now, my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna because I also have 2 season tickets. I'm going to get one for me, and then I'll probably get one with Becky's favorite player on it.
And I'll tell you, we'll since we're staying on kits, it's the first year that Nike for the NWSL has really done a replica and authentic kit. Usually they don't release any of the authentic kits. So the ones we got for our season tickets is a replica kit, and it differs a bit from the authentic one. But I will say I really enjoy the material and how the replica one feels. The gold star at the top of the badge always looks fantastic on any kit.
Yeah.
But the black and silver logo on this is different from the authentic ones that have more of a silver and gold that kind of just bounce. And it looks really sharp on the field. And then the pattern in the shirt is just this kind of muted light purple on the replica kit. It's mixed in seamlessly and very horizontally with a deeper, darker purple in the authentic kit. But I think a lot of the teams do this. The club was saying that they didn't send a whole lot of the authentic kits to the team. I don't know if they did this for every team. I haven't quite been able to look into that, but I do believe a certain number of authentic kits were sent to each team, and they were pretty much sold out for the Challenge Cup game up there last Friday. I don't know if the league's going to send them any more or whatnot. I hadn't thought about buying one, but I might, because that authentic kit is sharper than I thought, especially out there on the field. But yeah, if you haven't gotten a chance, look at all of the very cool NWSL, and there's some very cool MLS kits that have come out this year. But we'll kind of give you a preview of those leagues here coming up.
There's a slick kit. I think it was last year's purple one with the purple. It kind of goes to a dark purple in the center, and then a little bit of a lighter purple on the bottom. And the texture's really slick. I want that one with the badge and the star. I'll show you a picture of it.
Yeah, was it a training top?
I don't think so.
But anyways,
There's a lot of good kits though.
we have over 100 kits between us.
Yeah, and I might be underselling it a little bit. I don't actually really count mine. I'm kind of guessing that's where I'm at, but it might be more, because also some ridiculous things. Like when I worked at Disney, I got like a Disney World, like it's a nice high quality like authentic soccer kit, but it's like the year Mickey came out, whatever it is, 31 or whenever Steamboat Willie came out, and it's got Mickey across the back of it. But I have random stuff like that too. I kept trying to get that cool Rebel Alliance FC one, but it sold out really fast when that happened. Probably I do, and also because of Ron, I have a cool New Zealand rugby kit as well.
I have a wonderful New Zealand one. I have a few from Japan.
Oh yeah, yep.
They're a little bit snug nowadays, but you know what? They're beautiful kits.
We should have requested slightly larger sizes while Ron was in Japan.
We probably should have thought about that. Like, as you get older, you get fatter.
Yeah.
And because of that, you kind of tend to fill out the shirts a little bit more.
I'm like, oh, what's this? Big guy in a little coat.
Yeah. Put that on now. I look like Santi Carzola back in the day with the old Arsenal kits, looking like a little sausage in a blanket there.
Oh my God, this just made me so happy.
All right, I just put the kit on the chat.
Oh, let's take a look.
Oh yeah, that's last year's kit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
With the star on it.
Yeah. That I was thinking the same thing too, but I don't know. They won't be able to add the star or anything, but
I can always go get it put on.
I know. I do love that kit.
The texture of the kit is also really cool. Doesn't do it justice in this picture though.
I definitely have more Pride kits than City kits, because the Pride have had cooler kits just in general over the years.
Yeah.
Where like cities are okay.
I got like 4. I have 4 Orlando Pride and 2 Orlando City.
I'm at like 6 and 4, but it's I actually bought City's kit this year because it's the first time that we've had anything like drastically different. It's the first kit that I bought from Orlando City since our second ever kit, and we're on like 5 or 6 styles now. So,
by the way, this beer's really good. We got really off on the kits, but I'll say
Didn't have mine yet.
I interrupted our flow. But cheers, gentlemen.
no, cheers. I'm about a quarter of the way down this hot toddy here.
I love a fruited wheat beer like this, where it's the essence of the fruit and not like this syrupy like stuff. This is really good.
So this Worlds Away lager is super good. The coupling of the 2-row and 6-row malt is really great. But they've also added a bit of a hint of a floral texture to it. And that really sells it for me. It's not like overtly floral. It's just got the faintest of hints. And got it. It's good.
I think this tastes like another when it's going to be all said and done. All right, gents, shall we move on to the Saker?
Gross.
Why not?
All right. That's how the French say it. Just in case you didn't know. Now we are about to move on to Sorry if you heard my little ding-a-ling from my announcements on the computer. I did not mute
ding-a-ling
those.
and oral in the course of a 20-minute start to this pod.
We have no bleeps yet, but we've got a ding-a-ling and an oral in there. So
Remember?
we're PG-13.
Yeah. Who did? Was it Chuck Berry who did the Ding-a-ling song?
Yeah. Yes.
The
yes,
what song?
Yes. Oh,
you
man.
make this up sometimes, I think.
I love when we get a random one.
Yes, it is Chuck Berry. You Ferris,
How'd it go, Ron?
You've never heard the Ding-a-ling song?
No, I don't think I ever have.
My ding-a-ling, I want you to play with my ding-a-ling.
Yeah, look it up, man. Classic. You guys might not be ready for it, but your kids are going to love it.
Well
Chuck
done.
Berry. Wasn't Chuck Berry the band on Back to the Future and then Under the Enchantment Sea Dance or whatever?
His cousin.
His
cousin.
Marvin Berry.
Marvin Berry.
Which is where Blake
Samsonite.
pulled that quote from.
Yes.
Oh, man. Now I want to watch
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Now I want to watch some Back to the Future.
So, Ferris, your goal, your homework is to type in Ding-a-ling song into Google, and literally the first thing that pops up is a YouTube video of Chuck Berry singing My Ding-a-ling.
I'll do that after I watch on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Man, stop it because I'm angry about that one. Like it's sitting there around Amazon. You just watch it. You don't even have to buy it. You need to watch. And I saw this article the other day and I got so angry. It's talking about the best of James Bond. And like some people were like, man, and you have to see Her Majesty. Like people don't give that enough credit for how good and how much that changes the Bond, the mythos. And I'm just like, man, freaking Ferris. Like reading that article. You need to watch it. It's so good. You don't get Casino Royale without Her Majesty's Secret Service. You also don't get Austin Powers because there's a bunch of scenes in there. You go, oh, that's where that came from.
Right.
It's good enough to make fun of. Must be great. All right. Shall we move on over as Ferris had alluded to, or Ferris, he wrote it. So I guess he alluded to it, though I said the words that we are going to do our 2-minute drill dose style. So we're going to do it into Premier League, Champions League, Europa Conference League, as we ask one question and or make a smart-ass comment or two about some of these matches and storylines in our 2-minute drill. Ferris, take it away.
League leaders Liverpool for both Premier League and Champions League. Remember, they did table. Bust out of UEFA Champions League via penalties against PSG on Tuesday at Anfield as the Parisians claw back from...
That's for you. That's for you, Ferris.
Thank you. A 1-0 deficit from the first leg. Gentlemen, are you surprised at all by this?
I am a little. I am, because PSG are so inconsistent. It's not like there's some, crazy good team that, I don't know. I was surprised because I thought slot ball would end up pushing out the old PSG.
Yeah, there seemed to be something magical going on with Liverpool this season, and so if they had fallen out after this, but I'm coming with Ron. It's to PSG. Is the surprising one.
I agree and I don't agree with you guys. I agree because the second leg was at Anfield. Liverpool went in, albeit 1 goal up, went into this second leg up a goal. There's no away goals rule in this. So how they got the penalties and how they got knocked out from penalties is they won 1-0 in Paris. PSG won 1-0 in the second leg at Anfield. Extra time went to pens. Donnarumma for PSG saved 2 of the pens by Liverpool. I'm surprised that Liverpool let the tie go with the second leg being at home. I'm not surprised, though, that PSG advanced. I think PSG played extraordinarily well in the first leg. Had it not been for Alisson in goal, it could have been 3-1 before the end of the half, 3-0 by the end of the half. And yet he kept them a clean sheet in Paris the entire time.
Yeah.
Paris came out and scored fairly early in this to make it 1-0, and then they played extremely well, defensive, uh, great formation, great tactics. They did everything right to not concede a goal and give themselves a shot away on the road to win out in pens, and they did. And I think this PSG team are obviously cruising in the McDonald's Liga, that they're going to focus all of this on the Champions League, which they have not won. And mind you, they don't have any big names on this team. There's no more Messi. There's no more Neymar. There's no more Zlatan. There's no more David Beckham. There's no more of these. Let's bring in this big names and see if we can get across the line and win it all. No, it's just an organized team. Yes, they have some good names, and some solid folks on their team. Ousmane Dembele scored the goal in this one. Played extremely great. Cancelo Ramos played great. Vitinha in the midfield has been just amazing for them. That they have some names there, but they're playing organized and they're playing so well that it's going to be interesting to see how far they advance in this, because it seems to me like Luis Enrique, who's their manager, is really setting them up and going to push to win the Champions League.
Yeah, I just figured that they're so far up the table in the McDonald's League that none of that is truly a test for them, right? So I kind of figured that because they don't have much competition there, that Liverpool was going to end up pulling that one out. But this was a good test for PSG, and
yeah,
like you said, they fought well and played a really great, smart, tactical set of matches, and maybe this is the way PSG should be playing from now on.
Ferris won't like this, but I do hate it from one end. Like, if Liverpool's clearly going to just run away with the Premier League, they might as well just win the Champions League too, and then people can like shut up about Man City for a while. That would be nice. That's just where I'm thinking.
Robin Hood of Nottingham strike again as a lone goal by Callum Hudson-Odoi, former Chelsea player, in the 83rd minute, take down the big mean Sheriffs of Man City. Now 4 points behind Nottingham in third. Will Manchester lose out on a top 4 spot?
You say no? I think it's highly possible.
I think it is too. I don't know if they will, and they don't necessarily have to, because probably the top 5 make it into Champions League play next year. They're 2 points off that 4th place, another 4 points off the 3rd. A ways to go further until 2nd or 1st. I think it's fair to say they're wholeheartedly out of the title race at this point. But top 4, they're back and forth because they're tied on points with Newcastle and only ahead of Brighton and Villa by 1 and 2 points, respectively. So there's people breathing down their necks and people trying to fight to stay in the top 4. So I think it's very possible that they do not make the top 4.
I think Chelsea are going to hemorrhage out and stay in 5th. I think Man City will move up into the 4th spot.
Even if Chelsea hemorrhages out, I think it's still, I still don't know that.
Well, Newcastle's still trying to figure themselves out. They're really inconsistent. I don't see with Brighton has finally come up on a run of 4 good games, but before that, wasn't looking good for Brighton. Aston Villa's too far out. So I think Man City's the only.
Nah, man, you've left out Sneaky Cherries just hanging out there in 9th, ready to go on a streak.
Yeah, I don't think they can keep pace, though.
I'd be more concerned by Villa, I think, if I were Man City. I think even though they've had a little bit here and there lately, that's if I were them, would be who I would be concerned with. Boom. All right. Arsenal advanced to Champions League quarterfinals by an aggregate score of 9-3 over PSV Eindhoven. But on Sunday, the Gunners got hung up on 14th place Manchester United via 1-1 scoreline to put them 15 points behind league leaders Liverpool. Are all eggs now being put in the Champions League basket? Well, I mean, yes, but some of the eggs are cracked and still waiting to come back in from the hospital. So you don't. Yes, but you need the eggs, all the eggs, and they are not there just yet.
Yeah, I think you guys played 4 left backs.
Yep.
In your defense this past game.
Yeah.
Well, and it's because yes, they won an aggregate score of 9-3, but the first game score line, the first 2 legs in this was by 7-1. I think they could play pretty much 4 goalies at the back if they wanted to, and advance to the next tie. So 4 left back or 5, whatever it was. I think they were okay. They only drew that game 2-2, so shame on them. But I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, that's a heck of an aggregate. Yeah, I just need those. I haven't checked actually where things are sitting. There was like March or April was a possibility for Saka, but I don't know where that's been updated to.
Yeah, I think it's been pushed back a little bit. But with because I don't think we've potted since the Havertz news, or have you?
Or it might have been right after or right when that happened. But with Havertz, Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, you're in second and 15 points behind Liverpool, who is just on a tear. Don't risk your players pushing them back, or it's not like it's a close thing. Let these guys heal up and do what you got to do.
Yeah, and they're pretty. I mean, they're pretty secure for 4th. Obviously, they don't want to lose a lot, but right now, they're still mathematically in the race, but they have to win out like. From here, they literally have to win every game, I think, from now until the end of the season, and then hope that Liverpool drop 5 games between now and then.
But you do have a good defense to make a run of the Champions League, because it's a different beast. So that's where you got to put all the eggs in the basket right now.
Speaking of Manchester United, first a Bruno Fernandes free kick against Arsenal, and then just today a hat trick against Real Sociedad in leg 2 of their Europa League tie as United advance in the competition. Probably their only worth the damn thing they've done all season. But how good has Bruno been for Manchester United?
I mean, he's the only one that's seemingly firing on all cylinders.
Can you rebuild a team around him?
I think we've tried like 3 times.
Well,
now. it seems like
fair enough.
He's been great. Is he born in is he captain material? Maybe not in the sense of the word that a Frank Lampard has been, a Roy Keane has been. Some of your big over time kind of grab you by the shirt, fight every tooth and nail. He'll fight every tooth and nail, but
he'll complain the whole way.
100%. And he'll look. He has an ugly face when he does it too. But you know what? He lifts the team up and he puts them on the back by how he plays, the balls that he plays, the goals that he scores, the offense and the creativity that he brings to the team. I think there's a stat going around that since he joined the league in 2020, 2021, I don't remember, nobody has had more goals and assists besides one person. Do you guys know who that is?
More goals, assists since
Bruno. Yep.
Since which year?
Since he joined United, and that was in like the 2020, 2021 range.
Assists and goals.
Mm-hmm.
Is Saka close in there?
He might be close, but he's not the one that's the only one above Bruno.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
On the same team, but no. Mohamed Salah.
Oh,
gotcha.
He's the only person that's had more goals and assists since then. I want to say third is Kevin De Bruyne in that. But it just United has been, not good for the past 4 or 5 years, but to seemingly still keep that consistency throughout is something that is a talent and may not be captain in that general sense, but he certainly leads the team forward with goals and assists and kind of follow me as I do these things.
Manchester United, the team in crisis.
Oh man, but a new stadium in 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah,
Love that it's a circus tent.
I
Did
mean-
you guys catch? Yeah,
love it.
a lot of it looks like that.
and
100,000.
there's the graphic drawing
circle tents.
of the two hands dropping the circus tent on it. Like it's such a, I gotta say, we're very careful in these large companies that you really look at something before you put it out. I would have thought twice about the current state of things before I put that out.
To be perfectly honest, I didn't see it at first. I saw it and I was like, man, that looks. I said it looks like. I don't know. It looks elaborate. It looks circusy, I guess. But I didn't put the two together. It is definitely a modern type, very futuristic looking type stadium. It's going to hold 100,000. You're going to be. You can have outside mega stores and yada 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 and all these other things. 4 or 5 years from now, who the hell knows where it's going to go, how they're going to fund for it. But I just need to get over there and see a match in Old Trafford before that thing's built.
Name it New Trafford.
They're going to sell it to somebody. It'll be like the Snapdragon Stadium of the East or something. I don't know.
I mean, we could do a whole pod on just this topic, but I'm actually really worried about Manchester United's future.
Finances and everything else. Yeah,
Being
not lying.
so hard leveraged by the Glazers when they bought it, and then additional loans for things like players and all kinds of other stuff. They're tightening the belt all over the place in the places that actually affect the team, and then they announce, oh, we're going to put in this crazy new amazing stadium. With what money? Like, where's that coming from?
And it's it's one of those, if you build it, they will come and the money will flow in. We're seeing that now, with the park being
The bill
built here. If we survive the build, you open up this brand new theme park here, it's going to roll in cash, right? So it's a similar type thing there.
But
I don't know how. I don't know how or why. Now, it's an interesting interview if you haven't seen the one with Gary and Neville that he just did with Sir Jim. If you get a chance, go and watch all of it. It's actually a very, very good interview where Neville pushes him on things. And there's some quotes and things out of there. I don't really know how I feel coming out of that from a Man United fan perspective, whether what he said in that interview makes me feel better or worse. But they are in, and they have been over the past 4 or 5 years, is building a really bad financial state that they're having to do these things to try to get back. Because, Ron, to your point, the Gladiators haven't really put any of their own money into it the same way that Sir Jim and the consortium has. Instead, they've just loaned everything out, and they're just in debt so far that they're having to slowly try to climb their way back out of it.
According to the Telegraph, they're leveraged in total over $1 billion.
It's a large number.
And now you're going to put a several $billion stadium on top of that? I mean, look, I understand you're $100 million, $200 million in debt. You can probably get out of it with a new stadium and all the revenue from that. But billion with a B is not a small number.
No, it's not.
Oh man, I'm actually worried about how this is going to go for them.
Well, just remember, you don't have like an Arsene Wenger to help pay for the stadium like Arsenal did, and I mean that as of like how conservative that was, and sort of drove the fan nuts because they wouldn't quite spring for that final touch. And but you know what though? Gosh, we could do a whole financial pod. We have a few clubs in this situation.
Yeah.
In some ways, Man City is going to be in that situation as well. So, I mean, I don't know, man. This whole, like, it's a fun year because at least it's not the same club at the very top. But like, we might have a couple of these because of that.
I have no idea why we spent so long talking about a team in 14th place when we could be talking about a team 10 spots ahead of them, like the Blues of the Lions, Chelsea Football Club. With a 1-0 win over Leicester on the weekend and a 1-0 win today in their second leg against FC Copenhagen, Chelsea move into 4th place in the Premier League and advance 3-1 on the aggregate into the Europa Conference League quarters. Brr, 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 brr. That being said, we're going to suck out of the league and barely win Europa Conference League. So the question is, gentlemen, can Chelsea maintain their top 4 slot, and should they be winning the Conference League? I'll answer that. No and yes.
I reverse it. I think they can hold it, but I think they might lose out on the Conference League.
I'll stick with Ron. I'll go a no and yes.
Yeah. Look, all of our eggs are in the Conference League basket because the mandate for this season with this manager is Champions League or bust. Right. So the only way we're getting into Champions League, in my opinion, is going to be winning the Conference League. Not.
But do you go in the Champions League when you win the Conference League?
Yes.
No, you go into Europa League.
Go to Europa. But it's still a better payday.
But go for the top 4.
I agree.
Champions League.
I don't think we can maintain the top 4.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think so either. But
we have too many injuries. Nicholas Jackson, who is apparently the key to turning on Cole Palmer.
But look, I get what you're saying for your problems there, but I disagree because your 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th are Man City, Newcastle, Brighton, and Aston Villa. These are all clubs.
Man City's gonna take it.
I thought maybe, dude, but that game with Nottingham, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I think you guys could do it. I hope you do. And keep them out of it.
I mean, I wouldn't complain about it, but I don't think we have. There's a lot of things. Once the team started playing the non-counterattacking Maresca ball out, we dried up huge. Right? And Chelsea in the beginning of the season were split on the counter, scoring goals between Palmer and Nicholas Jackson and a few others here and there, like Madueke injured, Nick Jackson injured. So the only other person that's really going to score a lot of goals is Cole Palmer. And since everyone knows that, they just double team Cole Palmer. And then everyone says, oh, well, why isn't Cole Palmer performing? Well, that's pretty obvious, right? He can't turn around with the ball at his feet. So we're not going to maintain that top 4 because our guys aren't going to come back from injuries soon enough.
I think you should have a little faith, because the other teams around you ain't doing good. Well, moving on over to Germany, Bayern Munich are cruising as they just advanced in the UEFA Champions League via a 5-0 aggregate scoreline over German rivals Bayern Leverkusen. And oh, by the way, they are 8 points clear of Leverkusen at the top of the table in the Bundesliga. Will Harry Kane finally be winning a trophy this season?
No, a meteor's going to come down.
I mean,
listen, I the same way that you hope that Chelsea makes top 4, I hope that Harry Kane wins something. I do. And I think he has a great chance to win it this season.
I think the Bundesliga, I don't know if they can pull off the Champions League. I think
but I think the Bundesliga is pretty well
in hand. I think I'll counter this question. What is more surprising? Harry Kane winning the German trophy, or the fact that Vincent Kompany has been doing well at Bayern Munich?
No. I'm going to say that's like when it was like, come coach Barcelona and we have everybody. And I think any 3 of us could have managed that club.
Right.
Like,
now I'll say he sets his teams up well. I mean, listen, we joke that anybody can do it, but he's done a good job. In his second season, he's done a good job. He seemingly learned a lot from the
Just got
first season.
massively stacked team.
Oh no, actually, this is his first season though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's just got a stacked season or a stacked team that can pretty much go on autopilot.
Now,
And
where I would disagree, if they pulled off a Champions League win, that to me would be bigger a deal than the Bundesliga for him. I feel like.
yeah, I think there's fat chance that he's going to take Champions League though.
Man, Leverkusen had such a good year last year. It'd be wild to see them. They could sneak right back up though. Oh no! Oh, poor Harry Kane. It's coming. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Right?
And if you thought that Liverpool PSG match was fun, we all were treated to an equally fun match yesterday in the Milan derby in the Champions League, as once again, in the end, it was Real Madrid who knocked out Atletico Madrid of the competition, this time on penalties. Gentlemen, you had missed pens, you had extra time, you had controversy. What else do you want from a heavyweight derby match like this on a big European night?
Yeah.
I mean,
It was pretty good. Controversial call to take out a pen. And I guess depending on the view that you see it from,
It's tough.
it's really tough to tell whether that was a double hit or not. From behind, it does not look like a double hit at all.
Correct.
But
correct.
from in front, it looks like a double hit.
It's very, very tough. I had gotten home about second half of the extra time and had instantly turned it on because I was watching a little bit at work. And I happened to get on another work call at that time. So I was kind of like talking and walking around and only catching the pens here and there. And I had the volume down, so I couldn't hear what they were saying. I thought they were going to call it a good goal because I didn't see it from what I saw. So if it's a touch, it's an ever so slightly touch, which to the rules, yes, that would not count. But what a harsh way. And it happened that a few kicks later, Marcus Llorente just napping off the post. Real just sneaked by again, and they played well. They did it derby style, and this is their competition. This is Madrid's competition. They just do so well in the Champions League year in and year out. And right now they've knocked out Atletico and Man City. And we will tell you here in a bit who they're taking on next.
oh, that is.
What's interesting is on Twitter, X, and Instagram, there are people putting up pictures of video of all the Messi penalties where he drags the ball across his plant foot so he can redirect it, and it never gets called.
Man,
So
weird,
foot
right?
to that,
Wild how that happens.
and he never gets it called.
Oh, that was just gross. You ruined a perfectly good 2-minute drill.
Sorry. Aston Villa are also double winners on the week as they dispatch Brentford 1-0 in the Premier League on Saturday, which I kind of saw coming, and then knocked out Club Brugge out of the Champions League on a 3-0 yesterday on a 6-1 aggregate. Villa hanging around in 8th place in the Premier League, 4 points. 4 points off the top. That's not true. And they're now advancing to quarters in the Champions League to take on PSG.
Sorry, they're 4 points off of fourth.
Oh, gotcha. 4 points off the fourth. Gotcha. So what do we think? Are they going to climb the league ladder in the Premier League? And how are they going to fare against PSG in Champions League? I can sum up Champions League.
Dude,
Go ahead.
it would be so cool. If they could beat PSG,
They're not going to, but it's cool. It would be. Here's how I think about how PSG is going to control the midfield around their midfield. Do you remember a little movie that not many people saw called Top Gun?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Right? And they go,
This is one of Ron's favorite lines coming up here.
where'd he go? Where'd who go? That's going to be the game, PSG versus Villa. I think PSG is far speedier and far more tactically flexible in the field than Villa are. So I think they're going to get run completely around.
I don't know, Ferris. Did you make a call?
I don't think they're going to win Champions League. They might advance. I don't know. And I don't think they're going to make top 4. I think they're just going to kind of languish in 7th or 8th.
Good word.
And thank you. And maybe bust out in the next round of the Champions League.
0-0 PSG match, and then they go take it in penalties. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
That's my prediction. There you go. So now here is the Champions League quarterfinal bracket that Ferris was just alluding to. So Wednesday, April 9th through May 6th, or sorry, Wednesday. I don't know why I said Wednesday, but April 9th through May 6th is what I meant to say, or when these matches will go. For Wednesday, April 9th, it'll be Barcelona versus Borussia Dortmund. That should be a fun one. And then, as we just talked about, PSG against Aston Villa. Both these matches will be 3 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesday, April 15th, we'll have Aston Villa. Oh, sorry. It will be the second leg there of Aston Villa and PSG, with the second leg of Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona on April 15th. And Wednesday, April 16th, we got Inter versus Bayern Munich. I do think Bayern could probably take that one. And then we have Real Madrid versus Arsenal. That sucks because Real Madrid's just inevitable in the Champions League. So that's, that sucks. We have another 0-0 and try to take it in penalties. There you go. Just put that whole beautiful back line we have. Just let them hug that goal the whole time.
Everybody just stands around the goal except one.
Yep.
Yeah. Saka's back and he nets a hat trick. Yay. There we go. And that is, and then we'll have the rest of the matches carry on starting on April 29th. And that's our bracket.
So who do we think's winning all these? Bayern over Inter?
I think
Probably.
I think Bayern can
Probably.
take Inter. Yeah.
Inter's good, though. Inter's very, very good.
Barcelona over Dortmund?
Probably. As much as it pains me to say, but probably.
PSG over Villa?
Yep.
And Real Madrid over Arsenal?
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably going to be how that rolls out.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
And Tuesday, April 8th, is
it would be awesome,
Bayern Munich, Inter, and Arsenal, Real Madrid.
Arsenal
matches.
advance and Villa advance, and then Unai knocks Arsenal out of the cup, since he just seems to ruin Arsenal every time here in the last few years.
Well, and I said when they had him, like Emery coming into Villa, I was like, they could do really well in the Champions League. Just he's the kind of manager that I think could. That's
he
why
likes the European competitions. Yeah, absolutely.
He does. That's why I don't just discount them with PSG.
No, I don't either.
I think they could do it. He's a really good manager. So
if PSG play the way they did against Liverpool, I don't think they'll stand a chance.
You're probably not wrong about that. At the end of that 2-minute drill, we come to halftime, where it is now time for all the news that's fit to drink with Ron's Beer News. Take it away, Ron.
Tariffs, my fine friends.
We all knew that's what this was going to be about this week, by the way, right? I mean, I'm seeing all the news. Like, there's no way this is not fair. This is not Ron's Beer News this week.
Especially with yesterday or the day before, Trump's huge new tariff threat. Do you happen to remember what the craziness is? 200%.
200%.
200% on all all, and I quote, all wines, champagnes, and alcoholic products coming from out of France and other EU represented countries.
So Ferris, your Irish whiskey, you need to hoard it.
Like, go buy it now. Buy 40 of them. Trump spent the last few months teasing, delaying, imposing, and occasionally even retreating from big taxes on friends and foes alike, a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican imports, 2 rounds of 10% tariffs on Chinese goods. But Thursday's outburst was the first time the president has floated such an enormous levy on any of America's trade partners. 200% threat. So the question is why, right? Why is Trump threatening 200%? Strangely enough, it doesn't really have much to do with the actual US EU spirits industry. It's more retaliation, because when he put tariffs on all of the steel and aluminum imports, the EU put a tariff on American bourbons and whiskeys. And that apparently was the line in the sand for Trump. So he threatens a 200% tariff on all European booze. So we'll see if it actually happens.
Japan is stoked. They're like, "Well, it's fine. We'll take all the scotch. We got you covered."
Right? Between 1997 and 2018, transatlantic sales of wine, beer, and liquor have shot up over 450%. So it's not a small bit of the market. It's quite a large bit. The problem about messing with alcohol prices is that it tends to attract a lot of public attention, making it convenient to be a target in a trade war. Right? So, for example, when Trump imposed tariffs on imported steel and aluminum during his first term, the EU retaliated in part with a 25% charge on American whiskey. So that put pressure on then Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Republican from Kentucky, which is the home of American bourbon. So the U.S. then hit back on a 25% tariff. So we're just, who's bigger, right? That's really what this is all about. Trump doesn't want to be seen as lesser, and European Union is like, Trump can piss off. And so this just continues. So really what this boils down to is, when you go to buy beer in the store, what's going to happen? So if this 200% tariff, which Trump seems to still think that the foreign companies pay, they do not. You are going to pay a 200% markup on all of your imported booze. That's really what is, assuming he puts a 200% tariff, they are going to pass it right on to the consumer. And therefore, you're going to end up paying more for your booze, which means you're not going to buy that booze. Right. And so they're not going to buy whiskey, and it's just going to go back and forth for a while until either we get a new president or Trump falls and hits his head and wakes up and realizes he's an idiot.
Oh, I'll tell you what I hate is that the prices are going to go up, and when all the dust settles and all the posturing is over and it goes back to quote unquote normal, magically, the prices will go back down, but not to where they were. And then,
right.
And then everything has that inflation hit on it.
Yeah. And both sides are going to declare the victory. He's going to be like, see, look what I did for the Americans. Right. And he's an idiot. So look out, because if this happens, all of your, Pilsner Urquells and Chevalier Bordeaux and all that kind of stuff, all your Spanish wines, all your beer from Belgium, it's all going up.
It's going to be like fine dining prices at your local Irish pub.
Yeah, right. So be careful, pay attention, and if not to create panic or anything crazy, but maybe you just want to go out this week and buy a couple of extra.
Did you
of
not
the-
notice the 4 cases of Guinness I have back here? No.
Yeah, right.
Yep, Guinness will be affected too. So look out, pay attention, go stock up on your favorite transatlantic booze because it's coming. Something's coming, even if it's not 200%, right? Something's coming. So get ready.
All
That's your
right. That's our beer news. Now this brings us out of the half as we swing things over to Ferris for the La Liga's roundup.
Thank you, Blake. All right. If you didn't know, the America leagues are one's kind of in full swing almost, and the NWSL officially kicks off tomorrow here in Orlando as we take on Chicago Red Stars to start the 2025 NWSL season. First, we'll stick with the MLS soccer, soccer.com is where you can get all of your information. But to give you a quick kind of how they finished last season, Inter Miami, they won the Shield. However, they did not win it all. It was the LA Galaxy who finished runners-up in the Western Conference table that won it all as they beat the New York Red Bulls. So, about 3 games in. But, gentlemen, let's start off with some predictions for the MLS. And to remind you of what we kind of pick and what we do the winner of the East and West, and then you have to tell me which one's going to win the Shield out of those two, because only the Shield winner can confirm either the winner of the East or the West. The MVP of the league, the Golden Boot, who scores the most goals, of course, and then the biggest team to miss the playoffs this season, and then who wins the championship.
And when you say championship, you mean MLS Cup.
Sure, if that's what it's called.
Today.
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
Tam Gam Jam MLS Cup.
Correct.
MLS.
Soccer in America.
I need to make that like an audio blip for us. Soccer.
Do you know where that started, Blake?
Where?
The old Diagon Alley. After we first opened, I was going to play soccer, and our old ASM Brad would go, "Oh, you going to play soccer there, are you, fella?" And he would say it in kind of a weird voice. So then every time it was just soccer in America. So now on
It sounds like
Sundays, or I go to play, it's just the most obnoxious American way that you could say it.
It sounds like a British actor trying to do an American accent
Yeah.
when you do it that way.
Soccer in America. All right. So, gentlemen, let's start off with Blake. Who you got winning the East and West, and who wins the Shield?
Sorry, real fast.
Yeah.
Ferris, are you going to take these notes?
I got him going.
And are you going to put them in a place where you can find them later?
Yes. In fact, I actually found these two really, really quickly. The other ones that I've hidden elsewhere, I have no clue why. Yes. No, it's fair. It's a very fair question to ask there, Ron.
That was brilliant. Okay.
So, Blake.
Well, yes. Where do you at? What are you asking me? What do you want to know?
Who's the winner of the East and the West, and who's the Shield holder at the end of that one?
The West is LAFC.
Okay.
The East, I'm going to go for Charlotte.
Ooh,
Okay.
with Wilfred Zaha.
Yeah. Already a goal and assist so far.
And I'll say the Shield will go to LAFC.
Okay. I like where you're going with that. Ron, who you got?
Winner of the East, the one, the only Lionel Messi.
No.
Oh, Jesus H.
The winner of the West, the one, the only Lionel Messi. The winner of the Shield, the one, the only Lionel Messi.
I kid you not, I am writing this officially down.
I'm going to start bleeping
And
out
I'm going-
Messi like it's on the bleep sheet.
Like it's
Okay, for the East, it's Atlanta. For the West,
no, gosh darn it. I was really writing down Lionel Messi for both.
winner of the West is LAFC. Winner of the Shield, LAFC.
Darn, that's no fun. All right. Listen, I will take in the East. I'll take Cincinnati as the winners of the East, and I will take Seattle as the winners of the West. I think they have a bit of a resurgence this year, and I think Seattle will be your Shield winners, kind of returning to glory up there in the Northwest.
Cincinnati was up there for me, but I'm taking a bit of a swing for the East.
Fair enough. All right. MVP, gentlemen. Last year, I literally, the info was joke. It's like, I imagine who you could remember was MVP of the MLS last year.
Was it the one, the only, Lionel Messi?
Correct. Blake literally put in his prediction this time last year. Messi has already won it.
Right.
So I don't,
Ferris, put me down for Messi's already won it again for 2025. I'm going to roll the dice forward.
As he says that with an XLR cigar.
Yeah.
Ron,
why fight it? I mean, just why?
Very fair point.
I'm going to go with a surprise pick.
Go ahead.
Lionel Messi's right foot.
The only Lionel Messi. Because it doesn't matter. It really does. He's gonna break his ankle on the third game of the season. He's not gonna play for the rest of the season, and he'll still win it.
Didn't people just get mad again because he didn't play the other day? They were all freaking out.
You're darn yes. He hasn't played twice now. One was at home and then one was on the road to Houston. And Houston came out the next day and said, "Hey, listen, we'll give you guys can come again. We'll give you a free ticket because we feel bad because people were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, to see him."
Inter Miami isn't saying anything until the very last minute,
right? And they just did it to their fans down there.
So all this is going to do, you did all this hype to bring him in, is just get people to have a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, people are just going to be mad.
You don't say. I have no clue. Because I just don't want to pick. I just don't want to pick him. He's great and all.
But you're hesitating because you're like, I could get one of these right if I just go ahead and pick Lionel Messi.
Yeah, correct. But you know what? I'm gonna stick with my Seattle. I'm gonna go Jordan Morris as the MVP.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah. I wonder what his the betting odds are on that, because I don't think that's very high, but I'm going to try to look to see if I even have it available on Hard Rock, and I will put my money where my mouth is.
I see. Then you got to place a real bet, dude.
On Messi? Because this is Golden Boots, right?
No, you were doing MVP.
Oh yeah, MVP. Yeah, they don't have it on there to bet.
Yeah, we're doing MVP. Then we'll go to Golden Boot.
Yeah, okay. All right. Golden Boot.
Plus
what you guys got?
1,000, according to sportsbettingdime.com.
Love it. You know what? I'll stick with Jordan Morris as well. He'll be my Golden Boot. Gentlemen, Ron, who do you got?
For Golden Boot this season, MLSsoccer.com. I'm going with the one, the only, Lionel Messi.
Watch Ron walk away with 5 points out of this whole thing.
And he's only going to play half the games.
But I'm actually going to root for Dennis Bwanga.
Denny Bwanga, okay. Messi rooting for Bwanga. Sounds like a sandwich. All right, Blake, who's your Golden Boot?
Red.
The one, the only, Wilfred Zaha.
Nice.
Okay.
He was on my thought, too.
High on the Zaha.
Yeah. Carolina had a crappy year for Hurricanes. I'd like to see one of their teams win a championship, and it sure as heck ain't going to be in the NFL. So, there you go. I'd like to see one team do well.
Biggest team to miss the playoffs this year, gentlemen.
Blake.
The one, the only, Lionel Messi's Miami. This is a prayer more than a prediction.
I love it. No, I love it.
But I'm still doing it.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's what I put. The one, the only.
Yes. Yes.
You know what? We'll all go enter Miami to miss the playoffs. Wouldn't that be something? At the very least, just to see that actually happens, if the league will actually allow it. Who wins the championship? If we all say enter Miami.
The one,
Yeah.
the only, Lionel Messi.
God.
Mick Ultra beer.
It's
And holding his Lay's potato chips.
it's
We're all drinking a Pepsi after the beer to help.
oh
calm it down.
God. It's
I have LAFC.
it's Orlando City's year, baby. They're gonna come in like third or fourth in the East, but they're gonna pull it off. This is the year.
I would love to, but
Yeah, I would love to as well. I just don't know if I can go with it.
where the gold coming from?
There are still Carlos Rivas goals floating in the atmosphere. They're gonna come in
orbit, yep.
and score during some
Fully
of those
aware.
matches. They're in
fully
orbit.
aware.
Decayed orbit. That's hilarious.
I don't know. Let's go with
The one, the only.
the only. Oh shoot! I'll go Cincinnati.
Interesting shout.
I
And
think
Ron,
that's a
who
good
did you go with? Did you go with Miami? I'm sorry.
LAFC.
LAFC. Okay. All right. Well, that, gentlemen, is our probably extremely right or extremely wrong predictions for the 2025 MLS season
MLS soccer.
in America. All right. Let's stay in America. And let's go with the NWSL. Just to give you a recap of how last season did, there's only 2 words that you really need to know. Orlando Pride.
Heck yeah.
They won the Shield. They won it all. Bingo, bango. Great. Beat all sorts of records and you name it. They did it. Fantastic season by them. They did just, however, lose this past week the Challenge Cup in penalties to Washington Spirit. Those games have been close just for the past year, between them trying to fight it out for the Shield to meeting in the championship. It was 1-0 in Kansas City a few months back, and it was 1-1 here in Orlando, and then Spirit prevailed in Pens. But anyways, we did okay last year. We did all right in terms of our predictions. But gentlemen, we are going to get Tony's with this too. If you remember last year, Tony, friend of the pod, had his predictions in the NWSL, because when we did this, Blake was not actually on the pod, so me, Ron, and Tony did
That's
it.
right.
So I am going to include him this year, and I will shoot him a text so we can get his predictions for this year. But as the season kicks off tomorrow, who do you have winning the Shield, Blake?
All right. For the Shield, I think this year I'm going to throw it to the Spirit.
Solid guess. Ron?
Lionel Messi.
Excellent.
Always a solid guess.
Kansas City Current, please.
I'll stick with you on that one. It's tough to win the Shield. We haven't had a real consistent one, winners of the Shield since North Carolina and Portland to some extent. I think Kansas City is still very threatening, so I could see them winning the Shield. MVP last year, to remind you, it was Timowa Shawinga, who both MVP and Golden Boot. But we'll start off with Golden Boot, Ron. I'm sorry, start off with MVP, Ron. Who do you got winning the MVP this year?
Lionel Messi.
I knew you'd say that.
And Trinity Rodman.
Trinity Rodman.
MVP, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Trinity Rodman.
Blake?
I'm going to take a swing, but I think you're going to like it. Great run at the end of the season, postseason. Ali Watt.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
There's a spot open ready for her to continue to play all year long.
I like it. I like it.
Gonna maraud the wing. It's gonna be so great this year.
Maraud the wing, he says.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hold that sign up in the stand.
All right. Ooh. I will go with Marta as MVP
Whoa.
in
I
her 40th year and leading another team far, coming back to sign a 2-year deal. Why not?
That announcement was so fun.
I know it was.
What's our
It was.
prediction for how many times she drops F-bombs on live TV?
Over under 10.5. I'll
That's
take the over
still
all day long.
right. That is going to be hard to live down. My favorite, like live moment with the cup. That for anything. That was so great.
And it wasn't just an F-bomb to throw out an F-bomb. It was like
It was
just
earned.
heart and earned passion. Yep, all of it.
All passion.
All right, Golden Boot, most goals. Who wins it? I'll start it off. I'll go with Ashley Hatch of the Washington Spirit.
Oh, that would be so great. A good US women's national team player. Oh, that'd be great.
I'm feeling very purple. I'm going to say Barbara Banda.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. Ron?
Lionel Messi.
Yep. Got you down already for that one. Don't you worry, my friend.
I think it's going to be Chewinga.
Chewinga again.
I think she's going to just edge out Banda.
Fair enough.
I mean, it was a constant battle all last year.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and she did win that barely. It was 1 and 2 between Chewinga and Banda. We'll kind of see. Got to keep in mind there's no Sophia Smith now. Sophia Wilson is going to be out for a majority of the year because her and her husband announced that they are having their first child. So I think that's a big taken out because Sophia was up there in the race until she got injured halfway through the last season.
Yeah.
Not injured this time. We're going to take her out for a large part. I did not realize at this time, but Marta actually finished 4th in the Golden Boot race last season.
Yep.
Tied for 4th. So, yep.
Sneaky clutch goals that you didn't
exactly
climbing.
And Hatch for me is an outside chance. She was tied with 8 and 8 other players with 7 goals. So we'll see. Should be a fun season. Team to make the playoffs this season that did not last year. And let me remind you, gentlemen, of who made or who did not make the playoffs last year so that you have some choices to pick from here. Me and Blake won last year. As we said, the Pride would make the playoffs. I think all of us actually. Let's see here. Everybody, no, sorry. Me and Ron and Tony said that Orlando and Kansas City would make the playoffs. They did. Racing Louisville did not, Blake. And guess what? You could choose them again because they finished 9th last year. So you have from Racing Louisville, San Diego Wave, Utah Royals, Angel City, Seattle Reign, and Houston Dash are the 6 teams there that did not make the playoffs last season. So out of those 6 teams, who do you got?
You can put me down for Angel City FC.
I'm going to second that because I agree with you there.
You can't keep the magic of Natalie Portman down for too long.
That's 2 point, my friend. Lionel Messi. Yep, he's going to make that again. Let me put that. Is that an L and an I and then an O, or is that a?
I think Seattle.
Seattle Reign. Good shout there. All right, the big one. Who wins the championship? I'll start off. Orlando Pride, back-to-back double winners. I'll put that other scarf right up there where this one's at.
Double deuce, back-to-back. Pride.
Lionel Messi.
Yep, absolutely. And that's a capital M and then an E-S-S-I, right? So let me make sure I'm getting that correctly.
MESSY.
Got you. Yes, very cool. Okay.
And I'm going to say Kansas City.
Okay.
I think Orlando's.
I think you would have had a better chance sticking with Messi, if I'm being honest. But gentlemen, the season does start off tomorrow here in Orlando. I'll be in attendance for that. It is a banner-raising night, and you can catch that if you're not in town or going to the game. You can catch that on Amazon Prime, as that's where most Friday games would be. You can also find them on the other various partners of Ion, usually on Saturdays, ESPN on Sundays, and CBS from time to time as well. You can head over to nwslsoccer.com to get all of the fun information. And then next year, we're joined by 2 new teams.
Heck yeah.
And that has been your La Liga's Roundup.
Well done, Ferris. All right, let's bring us, as we wrap this pod up, our beer mentions of the pod. From Axeman Brewing, I had the Blackberry Raz, the Black Raspberry Wheat Ale.
From the
Ferris.
Scotsman and from Ireland,
That's right.
John Jameson, Twinings Earl Grey tea, and a little bit of my sweetest honey from this little cute bear.
Tea.
And a hot toddy.
Love it. A little hot toddy action. Hope you feel better.
Thank you, my friend.
And from Canada, Barrie, Ontario, I had Lionel Messi. Just kidding. World's Modern Lager.
Oh, God. If you said I had Lionel Messi and I had a Mick Ultra.
Oh, gross.
So happy for you.
Fair. Ron, you lucky you got that flying monkey across the border back into the States, man.
I know.
Yeah, you might not be able to here sooner or later.
Monsieur Ferris, do you have a Zlatan quote?
Oh, skittily nuts. No, I don't. I completely forgot about it.
It was okay. You know what?
You know what
you had was skittly nuts, and that might be my favorite thing you've said on this pod so far.
Made that up. But what was it? Not too long ago, he shared a dashing photo of himself on Instagram.
Was it his GQ shoot?
Oh yeah, hair down, flowing. You know what we haven't said on this pod? You got to go over to the Instagram handle. I am Zlatan Ibrahimovic on Instagram. Literally, I am Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Follow him, give him a like. There's a picture of his feet on there for some God knows why, how it's pinned to the top there. But his GQ pose, he is, if he's not your next Bond villain, I don't know what now Amazon's going to do, because they did buy out, or they do own the whatever now. But my God, he goes from like a trench coat, black gloves, black suit, hair down, serious as can be, like, I'm going to either break your legs or order somebody to break your legs for me. Then he goes to a PI, private eye, like LA Noir, like beige trench coat with
high suspenders
with it open, some sunglasses on an old phone with a cord. Like, who even sees that anymore?
But the thing is, like, we have made the joke a million times about him being in a Bond film, but that GQ shoot came out. I was like, well, yes, make him the
Easy.
Bond villain, guy, right-hand man that doesn't talk a lot and just cracks people in the face with his spinning roundhouse.
If you've had Dave Bautista in the James Bond, you gotta have Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Like that alone will get you, millions of more viewers to the great Bond franchise.
I just feel like if that happened, Ferris would explode the movie theater.
I don't know that he'd make it to the movie theater. I think he would explode on his way from excitement.
Yeah, we definitely are going to have a one-off episode whenever they announce who the next Bond is, just to get like Ferris's reaction to the whole situation.
Oh, a Brutal Game pod special.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Brutal Bond.
Who's the Jeff Bezos is probably going to announce it next, right? Isn't he the guy that owns?
Yeah, he owns Amazon, so that'll
be damn.
That'll probably be next when he's flying up in one of his rocket ships. They'll announce it.
It'd be awesome if they did it in like a free 2-day delivery. Your next James Bond only on Amazon Prime. It's going to be Gerard Butler. Butler.
I somehow don't think it'll be Gerard Butler.
No, I don't think so. He's not the odds on right now.
Who is the odds on?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Of course you know that. Yeah.
It's changed here recently. But
there's an odd. Of course, this is on odds check. Like, of course, this is.
Oh no, 100%. It's who I thought it was. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I hate that idea. By the way,
odds on.
I don't like that one.
I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I do.
Ugh, God, I
do. He's a versatile actor. I like him. Your next is Henry Cavill. Okay, Superman, great. Yeah, he looks great in a suit. Like, God, the guy's He is uglier than sin, by the way. I don't know how you even consider him. He's like a perfect gem. James Norton. I don't know if I know James Norton. Is that the son of Edward?
No, I think it's a British guy.
Okay.
I want to do the Daniel Craig thing where someone pops up and you go, wait, who? Wait, what?
Now some shouts down the line, which I like. Theo James. I love him as a consideration. 4 from the Divergent series. He's in White Lotus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great. Love that. Paul Mescal from Gladiator 2.
Oh, yeah.
The Gladiator's son. I like that shout as well. Richard Madden. I think that's a quality shout as well. Idris Alba, I like. His odds have been severely reduced. Because I don't know. I think Idris Alba is fantastic, but I could see him in other roles in the Bond franchise.
I think he's a bit aged out. They're going to be younger. I would love to see him be a villain.
I think he is a bit. Yeah, agreed. I think he is a bit aged out now. If he was in his prime when he was doing is it Luther?
Oh, Luther.
Yes.
God, that show.
Fantastic show. When he at the start of that in his prime, I think he would have been.
Ron, have you seen Luther? Ron, have you seen Luther?
No, not yet.
Dude, oh, that's fantastic. Careful. I think on Netflix it's a very new one. Not the got to find the first like it's like the BBC where it's like episodes, but like they're like 90 minutes long. They're little movies basically or whatever, like 3 out of the year, whatever. Oh, so good. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to our bonus James Bond podcast. Follow us on the socials, the Blue Skies, the Tumblrs. Not really. We don't do anything there. Wherever, Facebook, especially on Untapped, we post up all these beers. Or just go to the website, theroofgame.com. However you listen to us. If you listen to us Apple Podcasts, do us a rating or review and tell all your friends about us. And Flying Monkey, if you're listening, you kick ass for
you do.
putting that up on your wall there saying these guys are funny. We're something else. I can agree to that.
If anything.
Exactly. Now, we didn't even really bring it up prior, but it's good that Ferris had Irish whiskey because it's St. Patrick's Day in what, 3 days? 4 days for us. So on that note, for St. Patrick's Day, I think it is inappropriate to do a dad joke at the end of the pod.
Fair.
Because as we all know, remember that puns on St. Patrick's Day don't just shame you. They shame us all.
Well done.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Seamus, take us out.
Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brutiful Game.